In this video, I'm going to give an example of how custom menus can really speed up your workflow. So if you're talking custom menus, you go to the form editor and then you can create a new form if you want to. I already have several forms that I've created, and I have also got a temp folder which is empty and which I use for a template to create a temporary subform. So why is this useful? Well, for instance, a lot of the tools don't have shortcuts already. You could assign them, like axis slice or the tag tool or whatever. You could assign them hotkeys, but I prefer to work with actually creating new forms with subforms. And then what I do is I select my temp, which is empty, and I duplicate it. So when I right click on it, you see that delete is available with the other one that has been saved in my configs folder. So Luxology configs, it's been saved over here. When I right click on that, delete is grayed out. So if I want to delete this, I have to go to my configs folder, my ztemp, open that up and make changes over here. And then if I do so, or if I simply delete it from the configs, go back to modo, then delete will be not grayed out and I will be able to delete it. So this is my copy. Now I have nothing in it. What I'm going to put in it is a form reference, not a command or a subform, but a form reference. And this will allow me to drag another subform onto that reference. And as the word says, it will be referenced. So for instance, if I choose my subform H, my visibility, and drag it onto that reference, now when I preview the form, you see and by the way, it has been set to a pie menu, that form, so style pie menu. So when I preview that form and I also assign it a key Alt Z every time, so when I press Alt Z, now I have my custom menu handy. So this can really speed up your working in Modo. So if you find yourself sorry about that. If you find yourself using several tools over and over again, you could add them to a form. So you create a new form, and when you do so, then it will be added to the list. I also always start with an underscore so that in ungrouped it is at the top. Otherwise I have to scroll down and go looking for it. So when I do it with an underscore, it's at the top. So it's easy for selection. I also give them a color so that I know that these are mine. And as just shown you, I duplicate my temp form and then add a form reference to it and drag that subform onto it, and then assign to that temp folder the hotkey, and then I have my pie menu. Now for saving this out, this temporary one, this is going to be specific for the object I am working on. So that temporary one, I'm going to also give it the name of that object, and I'm going to just call it doodle, for instance, for now, and Control C for the name, copy the name, and I'm going to save it out, but not in my configs folder, but maybe in the folder where I put that LXO file and paste the name and save it out. So next time I open up Modo, if it's still there, because it probably will be because it will be saved in my main config. All I have to do is right click and delete. And since it's not in my config folder, normally delete will not be grayed out, so you can easily delete it and start over with another model. If I do want to use this same menu again, then I simply put it in my configs folder. Just like that. Or I could save it in that folder if I know I'm going to use it regularly, or if it's specific to the object I'm working on and I saved it to the folder of that object. Simply before I'm starting modo, I'm going to copy that config and put it in the configs folder, and then when I open up modo, it also will be available. And this is also a very useful way of working when you're working with selection sets. So I don't know if I already have mentioned it, but I've recently seen a video by William Vaughan. It's on Pixel Fondue's YouTube channel, and it's about soft selection sets. I suggest to check it out. It's incredibly useful. So I have another two templates, one for selection sets. That's something that I already did use, and after seeing the video from William, I also have now one for soft selection sets. So if I preview that form, and I have still my doodle temp selected, so if I select this one and preview the form, you see it has a command, it has a subform, VMF toggle, with a command to turn off and on vertex map fall off. So vertex map fall off, when I click it, vertex map fall off is turned on. When I click it again, it's turned off. And then a subform for soft selection sets with a couple of commands, but at the moment they are not assigned to anything. So same workflow as with the temp one. So I'm going to shift click, close it, and I'm going to duplicate it. And again, you have to make sure that you, and I've probably have the duplicate, but I'm going to right click on it and delete is available. If I see over here that the original one, right click, delete is not available, that's because this form has been put into my configs folder. So if I want to delete it, I have to take it out of the config folder. But now I'm working on this one, so that first subform I'm not going to change because that has my command for turning vertex map fall off on and off. So that I'm going to leave alone. And for my second one, if I go to my weight maps, you see that I have a weight map for face and one for head, like that. And in order to see your weight maps, you could go to over here and set it to vertex map, but I usually just leave it in default and press the O key, active meshes, show weight maps. And I've actually integrated this into my UI, so you can easily turn it on and off without having to press the O key. Again, a way of integrating custom subforms into your UI to speed up your workflow. So all I have to do is replace the names. So I have a subform called right now replace me, so that should be face, and I'm going to copy this, Control C, for the actual commands. Oh no, in this case I don't have any subforms anymore. In the selection set I do, but here not. So it's actually the command already, this one. So here double click, Control V, so face, select .vertex map, between brackets face, WGHT replace. If you want to find out how you can find that command, well, simply with the head selected, select another weight map, then go to your command history, select that last one, and you see that you have the command for that. And then copy and paste it over here. But once you have created this form and duplicated it, you don't have to do all that. You just need to replace the name. So because the commands are already in there, so the second one is head, shift, home, control C, double click, control V, OK. And I also have to add this to my temp folder, so my doodle temp, and I already have added a reference, so I'm going to select this one, click and drag it on my reference, and now when I press Alt Z, I have my visibility and I have my soft selection sets available to me. So I can turn on vertex map fall off, and the face already was selected. So when I click head, you will see now head is selected. Face again. So when I turn off W maps, select face, for instance, W, and then head, and then face again, and of course I can do all other kinds of operations, and now for the head maybe, and the face, just like that. So, weight maps visible, face, head. Now you have noticed probably that these always, the last one is always stays selected. If I control click, so earlier the command that I chose was by simply clicking on another one. So if I click on face now and go to command history, then you have face weight replace. But if I control click face to deselect it now, and now go to that command, you see that it says now face weight, instead of replace, it says 3. I could also use that command, and then it will toggle the, and I will show you. So I'm over here, so face, and instead of replace at the end, the 3, and instead of replace for that one, also 3. So now I can toggle them on and off. So earlier with replace it could not be toggled off, but the disadvantage now is if this one is selected and you don't toggle it off, and you click another one, and don't know if I made a mistake. It was not R3 but 3, so you see that that's being added to it, because I did not toggle the other one off. Now when I press the W key, it will work on the last one that I highlighted. That's unfortunate. It would be cool if you select multiple weight maps that it would work on both. So maybe you could create a script to combine these, but it would be so great if it would work on both. Anyway, it only works on the last one selected. Nope. Like that. Head. So, but instead of that 3, I use the command replace, which does not allow you to toggle off, but it's visually much more interesting. So face, head, it's much clearer on what weight map you are working. I'm going to hide that. And again, so for this one, I also give this another name. Now I'm not going to right now, but anyway, when I'm working, I give this another name, save form, and not in my configs folder, but again in the folder where I save my LXO file. And then the next time I open up Modo, I can simply delete it if I'm working on another model. And if it's deleted and I'm going back to this model, then I simply copy that config file and put it back into my Luxology configs folder, so that when I open modo, it's back in here, and then I can continue using these selection sets. And so I'm not going to give an example with the selection sets, it's the same. So it's a basic default style subform with two subforms. In this case, that's not the case for my soft selection. It simply had, for the soft selection themselves, it did not have subforms, but for my selection sets, I do have, because I want to be able to have both select and deselect. So if I preview this form, I could actually give an example because it's different. So again, replace me. I have not copied this yet. I'm going to close everything for a moment so that I know where I am. So my selection sets, soft selection sets, that was what I had done. So now, and I could color code these, of course, maybe something else that it's more distinguishable from the other would make life easier. So duplicate. So this is with the delete not grayed out, so that is the one that I'm going to change, and that is the one that I'm going to save in the folder where I save that LXO. And again, replace me. So I've also called them face, shift home, control C, and then for the commands also control V, and then double click this, control V. And this one, oh, and I made a mistake, I think. No, control V, face, and that's for the deselecting, control V, face, and that's my head selection set. So head, shift home, control C. So it takes a bit of work, but once you have created these forms, it's actually pretty fast. Every time that you have a new selection set, you also add it to your form. It's a bit more work, but it will save you time. So now I'm going to back to my doodle temp, add a form reference, and click and drag that one onto there. So when I press Alt Z right now, I also have another one for my selection sets, and they are grayed out right now. I did have select. Sometimes it has to update a bit, so yep, they are ungrayed out. So I've opened them again. So face, you'll see, and deselect face, select head, and I'm going to turn off my W maps. So deselect head, face, head, shift up, deselect face, deselect head. So you see, that is what I wanted to show you. So if you have just a couple of selection sets and a couple of weight maps, then of course it's not worth your time. Then you're much faster with going to your lists and your statistics panel and look them up. But if you're working on a complicated model with a lot of selection sets, then even when you press the 0 key to expand this, it may become cumbersome to find the one you need because they are not alphabetically. And if I have a lot of selection sets, I actually reorder them over here so they are alphabetically, and that makes also it much faster and easier to locate them. And because I have saved them out in the LXO folder, in the folder where I saved the LXO, next time when I want them back into modo, I just copy them, put them in my config folder, and that custom menu is available to me again. And afterwards, when I close modo, I simply copy them back to my LXO folder, or just delete them if I copied them in the first place. Anyway, I hope it wasn't too confusing. I just wanted to show you that when you create custom configs like that you can easily create new ones with the add form reference, and you drag and drop them onto there. And when you assign a hotkey to that, it's directly available to you. And for certain operations and certain tools have a good combination, you use them a lot, and instead of having to assign them all separate hotkeys, you could use this workflow to really speed up your work. So I hope you find it useful. Bye for now.